Loneliness Temple is the oldest holy Chinese Buddhist temple in Surabaya, which was built by Tartar troop on Kubilai Han Emperor era on the early of Majapahit Kingdom, approximately 700 until 800 years ago. The temple reminds of the strong Chinese influence in Indonesia in the prehistoric times. It is located in the heart of Surabaya's Chinatown, and it exudes old world Chinese charm. The vibrant red tapestry that adorn the temple, combined with the strong scents of incense wafting through its ancient courtyard, create a very atmospheric and holy atmosphere. The temple is also famous for its wayang potei, or puppet show, that is typical of the Chinese community and distinct from the wayang kulit puppet show of the Balinese. The legend of Wali Songo in Indonesia still thrives in Javanese life. Wali Songo is 9 saints who spread Islam at location of northern coast of Java in the period of 15th to 16th century. Ampel Surabaya is the oldest site relics of Sunan Ampel. Raden Rahmat, known as Sunan Ampel, is a religious figure and one of the legendary members of Wali Songo in Surabaya, even in Java. The ethnic of Arab already occupies this region since the imposition of decentralized population by ethnic group in the era of Netherlands, located in the East Red Bridge and the center of Ampel Mosque. Masjid of Sunan Ampel, or Ampel Mosque, founded in 1421 by Sunan Ampel, assisted by his student and 2 friends, namely Mbah Soleh and Mbah Son Haji. Mosque was established to serve as a medium of propaganda in order to increase the spread of Islam, as well as improving public piety. The mosque is built on a plot of land measuring 120 times 180 square meters in the village Ampel. This land was a gift from Brawijaya, king of Majapahit. Furthermore, Sunan Ampel died in 1481 and was buried to the west of the mosque. Tomb area was later developed.
Kelenteng Sanggar Agung is one of Surabaya's religious sites. The temple was built in 1999 by the Setiaji Yudo family. To enjoy the beauty of this temple, we need to pay the entrance ticket for Ganjaran Park at the first gate. What makes Kelenteng Sanggar Agung special is that the temple was built on the sea with 20-meter hexagon Im statue on top of the pillar and two dragons watching each other right under the pillar. People can watch the Suramadu Bridge and the glimpse of Madura land from here. The temple is open 24 hours for praying purposes and 9 to 5 p.m. for other purposes. "500 meters south of the statue, there was also Kelenteng named Kelenteng Kwang Kong Pyo. This temple was made 20 years earlier than Kelenteng Sanggar Agung. In this area, we could also find the biggest and the highest Buddha statue in Indonesia. Gereja Santa Perawan Maria, or known as Gereja Kepanjen, is located on Kepanjen Street number 4. Being one of the oldest churches in Surabaya, this church was built in 1899. The church was designed by Wismes and has a European Gothic style. In 1945, the church was damaged due to the Battle of Surabaya and got renovated 5 years later.
As one of the largest business centers in Indonesia, Surabaya has various kinds of markets and shopping centers. A lot of economic sectors such as traditional market, flea market, street market, and supermarket until mall are spread in every side of the city. There are 81 traditional markets and 42 malls in Surabaya. Many kinds of local until imported products and accessories, fashion, foods, daily needs, anything else can be easily found on those places. The first shopping destination you can visit is traditional market. Moreover, you can also bargain the price. Every traditional market have their uniqueness, especially in products they sell. For example is Ampel Market. It has been built in 14th century since the Arabian people come to Surabaya. In this market, all the products, especially Middle East products, are sold. For instance, dates, Mariam bread, Muslim clothing, etc. If you want to explore the night fair and culinary market, you can visit Ciwalk. This place is located in Gapura Street and near the Unesa campus in Ledah Watan. You can find the other markets which is suitable with your needs, preference, and the distance. As one of shopping and entertainment centers in the liveliest area in West Surabaya, Pakuan Mall was initially known as Super Mall Pakuan Indah and established since 2003 on a site of 30 hectares. In February 2017, Pakuan Mall is officially open as the world-class shopping mall. Sitting on a site of 80,000 meters square, designed by DP Architect Singapore for its luxurious design. Strategically located with easy access, Pakuan Mall is providing one-stop place to serve modern life, including shopping center, variety of dining options, and entertainment for family. Pakuan Mall also provides convention center, ballroom, and multifunction atrium to host various events, such as concert, promotion, live performance, or the company gathering. Pakuan Mall also has been known as the largest shopping center in Indonesia. Tunjungan Plaza or TP is a super block in Surabaya and is the second largest shopping center in Indonesia after Pakuan Mall. Which houses more than 500 retail outlets, including boutiques, restaurants, cafes, cinemas, supermarkets, and children arcade center. It has 6 main buildings, which name TP1 until TP6. The Tunjungan Plaza takes all your items off your shopping list in one massive building, so this place is the best place to find a lot of branded products.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We extend our warmest welcome from Unesa to everyone who joined today's session. Hope you always happy and healthy. I am Nadia. I'm from Unesa Office of International Affairs. Will be the master of ceremony for today's event. Today we entering the fifth day of Unesa Samar State University Joint Course 2022. Before we start our activity today, there will be some rules that participants must be obeyed during the events today. First, please rename your Zoom username based on the name that you use in the registration form. Second, participants must mute the microphone during the session, except the moderator asks you to unmute your mic. And third, you may fill out the presents in the beginning and the end of the session. And the last, you may ask questions in the Q&A session later through chat box or raise hand feature. From the rules above, is there any question? Okay, let's continue our agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are gathering here in this very fine afternoon to learn about the Philippines culture and attraction. There will be some lecturers who expert on their field, especially in Philippines culture and attraction. Then, before we begin our activity, we will watch the video recap of Unesa Samar State University Joint Course Day 4, which we have done in the previous meeting. So happy watching and enjoy the video. While waiting the host to prepare the recap video from yesterday's event, I'd like to ask how you feel today. Are you excited, guys, for today's event? Yeah, especially for Unesa students, maybe they are really curious about the culture or the arts from the Philippines. Yeah. From Unesa students, maybe could you tell us or could you share what you're curious about from Philippines arts and culture, maybe? No one want to share? Okay, sure.
From Unesa. So actually, I am pretty curious about some attractions or some cultures from Philippines, especially when I watched a video from YouTube. There is a very interesting traditional food from Philippines called balut, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a duck. It's like a duck egg, and there are lots of videos of people talking about it. So I'm curious if you are going to talk it here too, and also from the instruction from our WhatsApp group that we have to prepare our pictures or our traditional costumes or food so that I hope that we can share the culture from Indonesia and exchange to the cultures as well. Yeah, that's from. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Hanif. Maybe do you plan to continue your study to Philippines one day?
I actually didn't have that in mind, so but we'll see. Yeah, life's just like a flow of water. Right? So yeah, just let's see what the universe gives to me in the future.
Okay, thank you, Hanif, for sharing your thought and your opinion. So it seems like the host already prepared the recap video from yesterday's event. So enjoy the video.
I say don't look back, but I go right back and all of a sudden I'm hypnotized. You're the one that I can't deny. Every time that I say I'm gonna walk away, you turn me on like a light switch when you're moving your body around and around. Now I don't wanna fight this, you know how to just make me want you. Turn me on like a light switch when you're moving your body around and around. You got me in a tight grip, you know how to just make me want you, baby. Do you love it when you keep me guessing? When you leave and then you leave me stressing. But I can't stay mad when you walk like that, no. Why you always wanna act like lovers, but you never wanna be each other's? I said don't look back, but I go right back, and all of a sudden I'm hypnotized. You're the one that I can't deny. Every time that I say I'm gonna walk away, you turn me on like a light switch.
Wow, what a great video. We hope that today's event will be more fun and then more fascinating than before. After this, I will show you our today's activity. But before, please fill out the activity card for today's event. First, the rundown for today's event is the opening and recap videos, which we have done just now. And second, the main session, which held by presentation session by our guest speaker by Ma'am Mary Jane Cinco, Master of Science in Psychology, and Sir Pedro Cabrales, Master of Arts in Theological Studies. In this main session, with a great pleasure, I'd like to welcome Ms. Jeva May Piamante, who will be the moderator on this event. Hello, Ms. Jeza. How are you? Oh, I'm sorry, but the moderator for today's event is Ms. Jeva May. How are you, Ms. Jeva? Are you with us, Ms. Jeva? Okay, while waiting for the moderator, Ms. Java, I would like to greet our today's speakers, which is Ma'am Mary Jane. Are you with us today? Ma'am Mary, are you with us? Can you unmute your voice from Zoom meeting? Miss Java, are you with us? Okay, seems like maybe they have connection issues. What about Sir Pedro Cabrales? Are you with us today? Okay. Oh, they are already with us. Okay. Okay, I can hear you now. How are you, Miss Eva?
Are you ready to get started?
Yes, of course, we are ready.
And emoji so that you can know that you're excited and interested with today's topic. I can our it can mean that you are all excited. So for this topic, for this session, our first lecture is all about the Philippine culture and technology. That includes the festival, tradition, and Filipino technology. So right now, I will be introducing our speaker. She is a technology faculty teaching Filipino technology, social technology, and field dynamics. Let us give a virtual round of applause to Ms. Mary
known for her lava walk and her lava gown. What are the words in Tagalog that you know? Aga data. Very active. Already considered as best friend of Jeva. Okay. Okay. So thank you so much for very participative and interactive, even if it's in group chat only. We'll resume the presentation of what is unique in the Philippines and how unique Filipinos are with this video presentation.
Minsa'y natuwa ang may likha, 7,000 pulo ang ginawa. Mga hiyas na inilatag sa malasudlang dagat. At ang bayan niyang pinili, nasa dulo ng bahaghari. Kaya't 1,000 kulay nangangakit kumakaway. Piliin mo rin ang Pilipinas, kapulo ang kwintas ng perlas. Piliin mo, yakapin mo, kayamanan niyang likas. Piliin mo ang Pilipinas. Kasayahang di mapatid, ramdam sa bawat awit. Sama sisiglang indah, mga puso'y lumilipad. Piliin mo ang Pilipinas, kapulo ang kwintas ng perlas. Piliin mo, yakapin mo, kayamanan niyang likas. Piliin mo ang Pilipinas. At ang ngiti ng may kapal, taglay ng bawat nilalang. May lambing na tumutuyan sa buong pakiramdam. Bayanihan.
Paano mo sisimulan? Mabuti ng iyong hangad. Ano kung ang pakiramdam mag-isa kang lumalaban? Paano mo tatahakin landas ng madilim? Paano makakamit? Paano mararating? Nagsimula na magkakasama sa baba. Sabay-sabay patas lahat itigala. Lahat magagawa kung sama-sama. Kung may malaki man ay kaya. Mga pangarap nating hawak. Isa-isa matutupad kahit kabayanihan.
So, did you enjoy the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Very much
Wow.
enjoyed.
Credits to my students for compiling those clips into one video presentation. Okay. So the students that I have invited to join this summer course, by the way, are our interns in psychology. Okay. So they're working, what do you call this? Double time, full time, name it, they have it all. Okay. So to continue my discussion on Filipino culture and psychology, okay, I will just, okay, move my presentation to, okay, magsasapat at setup. Ayan, magsasapat at setup. Okay. Okay, we'll start here from why is Philippines have become the Philippines that we are showcasing to you now. Okay. So Philippines being known to all as a country where East and West meet. Why did the author of this article mention this? Because we've been uh, developed as the culture that we have now because of the colonization that we experienced from the Western people, Spanish, the Portuguese, okay, name it. Is because of the Chinese people, okay, the Malayan, okay, who have been known to be the first settlers in our country. So our Indonesian foreigners here know that we share some of the cultures also because of the Muslim people that we have in the Philippines. Okay, I have encountered and I have Muslim friends when I studied in Mindanao in my elementary years, and I treasured also the way of life that they have. From being religious people to sticking to their values, I love how they preserve those. Okay. So the Filipino people have a distinct Asian background. So like the collectivism. We are known to be collectivists, people who practice collectivism. That is, we believe that things will get easy if we will be helping each other. Okay, like the bayanihan that was presented earlier. Now during pandemic, there is what we call the modern bayanihan. Okay, when the pandemic happened, you know what? People are starving. People have the difficulty to buy the basic necessities. And what happened is there is the community pantry that has been that is being established in communities, local, the barangays, okay, the uh, intersection lines or roads in some areas, okay, wherein people may just get the things that they're needing, okay, that will suffice uh, their daily needs. Okay? So the modern Filipino culture developed through the influence of Chinese traders also. Like in the Philippines, kahit saan, or anywhere you may visit, the places in the Philippines, you will see traders or mamaligyaay in Waray. Okay? It's also part of the culture that we have. We do barters in Mindanao. Okay? Here we do community barter. That is why during pandemic, community barter was also one of the trends. Okay? People bartering unused uh, materials, unused clothing, unused ingredients for them to create something that they want to eat during the pandemic. Isn't it amazing how Filipino people are so creative that they find something new, being innovative, creating something new, they find something that they want to eat are into. So Dalgona coffee have been a phenomenon on the early days of pandemic. I can still remember that I actually gained weight because of creating, drinking dalgona coffee almost every day because we've been working overnight just to craft modules for our students. And I know my students are also working overnight to finish and accomplish and submit their motions all the time, on time, I mean, before the deadline. So we've all been addicted to dalgona coffee and we like it. Okay? As Spanish conquistadors, where we uh, get the influence of being religious people. Okay? We can still recall and just find it funny that whenever there's a dominating individual in a group, we call this, or the Kylie just came in. Okay, so because of that, the American rulers. So maybe because we've been colonized by the Americans, that we also imitated their slang or the diction that they have, or uh, the sensitivity that we have whenever there is wrong grammar. Someone mentioned or stated a sentence and find it grammatically wrong. Okay? Filipino people tend to be very hospitable. Okay? Even if we just know the person for the first time, especially if it's an older or an elder people, so we really are prioritizing them. Okay, so people with difficulty, people with special needs, we prioritize them over us. Okay, especially the visitors, whoever is the visitors that we have at home, in our community, in our country, we really prepare for them. So that's how hospitable Filipinos are. Okay, yun. The grandiosity that we have whenever we are celebrating our patron saint. So may it be in our barangay, in the municipalities that we are dwelling in, or in other regions, wherein we must make sure that we also visit the place celebrating that prestigious or grandiose celebration or festival so that we pray with the faith that they are celebrating and join the parties that they will be having at night. So the Philippines is often known for its colorful festivities and festivals. Okay? Holding celebrations in honor of culture and expression of gratitude towards patron saints. So with this, I can say that it's truly more fun in the Philippines. So presented in this live are the sinulog faces of people celebrating Senior Santo Niño or the baby Jesus. Okay, yon. Next is the Santa Cruzan that it's being celebrated annually. It's being celebrated at the end of May, okay, wherein ladies showcase their faces and the beautiful costumes or outfits that they have, okay, representing different reinas or queens, okay, queen of hope, justice, Reina de las Flores, and the Reina Elena, who is the hermana, okay, there's just like drama imitating a queen, okay, who is actually the hermanidad. So in the Philippines also, you cannot be invited to be one of the queens during Santa Cruz if you don't have beauty and prestigious gown. Okay, so it's part also of parang status symbol in the Philippines. Okay, you can only be the hermana if you can afford to do the 9 day novena. Okay, in our locality. Okay, so it is also known as the religious historical beauty pageant because during Santa Cruzan different uh, faces of Filipino beauty is being showcased. Okay, yan. The sinakulo also is one of the practices that we are celebrating annually. Okay, this is what is this? It's a national tradition which enables sincere local people to come to scriptural occasions related to the life, tribulations, and extreme deeds of Jesus Christ. So in fact, in Kapbalogan, there is really a kilometer-long procession, okay, which is also being conducted annually. And what is being uh, most awaited part of the procession is when the Santo Entierro is being carried by people uh, uh, working hand in hand just to carry with their shoulders the 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 heavy weight of this uh, Santo Entierro really caused them to be parang to test their endurance during the hour-long procession. Okay? Yan. So one of the traits that is very admirable among us Filipinos is the bayanihan. Now, bayanihan is a product of uh, a manifestation of the collectivist culture that we have, wherein people are ready to lend their hand whenever someone needs help. Okay, so just like that, as in literal, we can transfer your house in the Philippines. Okay, now because most of the dwellers are making sure that their their homes and houses are also resilient. So most likely it is already made of cement and stone, not concrete concrete houses already. That is also resilient to the typhoons that we are experiencing in the Philippines. But we can still practice bayanihan spirit, not literally carrying houses, but yun, the pantry that happened during pandemic. Or whenever someone is experiencing difficulties, we make sure that we really contributed to that person just to help that person uh, survive or be okay. Okay? Yan. So that is what happened during pandemic. When we're in some Filipinos create community pantries, an initiative where residents can give and receive various donations such as food, vegetables, fruits, and basic commodities, including money and benefits. Okay? It's a domino effect that was created after the first community pantry went viral on social media. It's in Barangay Maginhawa, Quezon City, where it inspires other localities and communities to create their own pantries as well. Where in fact, in Tapalogan, the members of Alpha Omega, supported by Commerce State University community, also had our community pantry and lasted for weeks. Okay, we were able to help 5,000 people and more likely hundreds of family dwellers or dwellers in Catalogan City. So one admirable trait also that we Filipinos are having is being prayerful, that we love praying together in any occasion, at home, in the office, before and after conducting classes, we make sure that we pray. But if there's deadline, of course, sometimes we forget, but we pray in silence. Okay? It's a common practice also in the Philippines. Whenever family is celebrating any occasion, graduation, like what we just had yesterday, so we weren't able to buy food outside because people are celebrating, families are celebrating the success of their graduates. Okay? Because in the Philippines, family is considered as what? Important aspect of the Filipino culture that we have. We consider family as the basic unit of society. And because also of the collectivist culture that we have, whatever any member of the family is experiencing being felt by all the members of the family. In whatever family that you consider, may it be in a classroom, in the program, in a university that we are into, we also feel the same. Siguro maybe it's because of the empathic trait that we also have as Filipinos. We have it, we feeling always, almost all of the time. Okay? Yun. In our family also, that's my family, my extended family, we really take care of the elderly. So it's not it's not okay with us to leave our elders alone. I already have my own family, but we still dwell with my in-laws because it's them who we only have, and we make sure that up to the best that we can still take care of them, and we are willing to take care of them. So we consider our elder people most valued people also in the family. Okay? Alright. So being a religious country, a mantra of every spiritual Filipino is putting God first in every step of the way, in everything that we do, in every plan that we may have. God is, of course, the center of it. The major religions in the country consist of the three: Roman Catholic, Islam, and the Christian. So there are a lot of born again Christian friends that I have who practice the same belief that we have in Roman Catholic and Islam friends that I also. Okay, praying, honoring God, honoring
Ada yang belajar air itu akan masuk ke dalam air, dia lepaskan semua yang dia cintai. Dari mulai sepatu barunya, jam tangan kesayangan, kaca mata, jaket, semua dia lepaskan ya.
Okay, who are also known to be women uplifting the economic status of their family. Bring, so I don't know if it's still good, but some considered it as Dinumingo or Sinabado. Yeah, and I think everyone in my class can relate that we always make sure that we celebrate that weekend with a bang. Okay? We make sure that we always conclude an event with a bang. We celebrate always. That is why other people may find it as a negative Filipino trait, but others will still highlight it as a positive trait of us Filipino because this entails strong bond and camaraderie within the family, within the community and society as a whole. Okay? Yon. See? Okay. What can you see of the situation? Okay? We don't consider uh, typhoon or flood as an obstacle to our get together. Okay? We always find time to be happy despite of the situation. So, tagay. Okay? Yon. We will conquer the world no matter what, just to show my love and promise to you. The ability to maintain optimism and see the positive side of the situation is one of the Filipino people's ability. Okay. Additionally, Filipinos take pride in their affection for their families and how easily they overcome problems like storms and floods for those they care about. Because the wedding is set, bahala na umulan, bumagyo, ikakasal tayo. God, parang kakilig, no? Kakilig, actually. Pero mas nakakakilig kung waray magbak. Kung hindi, if the caterer is still there, okay? It's more the love will be felt more and it will give us more kilig if all the suppliers are still there despite the typhoon. Okay? Nice. So in the Philippines, really, if I can give you one word to describe the Filipino people, it is resilient. Okay? And despite of the situation that we are into, despite of the crisis that we are experiencing at the moment, magmahal na lahat, pati ang gasolina, ika nga, we will rise again because resilience is in our genes. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you like Filipino culture and the character traits of us Filipino people. I will just give the mic to Java, which is
Once again, thank you so much, Mama Rizlin Cinco, for introducing and presenting to us the Philippine culture and the unique characteristics and traits of Filipinos. I know that all of us enjoyed it, so may I request from our participants to give us some words that you are very attractive or you relate to the topic earlier. So you can comment it on our chat box. Are you familiar with the word tagay? The kilig? Earlier, I noticed that some of you are laughing, some are giggling, and I know that you're all excited.
I think those students from SSU are the ones who got kilig. I don't know if the Indonesian or the Unesa students can relate. Can you
understand the words earlier? The tagay word is yeah, shot. It's drinking.
I don't know.
So while the kilig, it's like a romantic feeling.
Yeah, you get when you are with your loved one. That's it. Can you relate?
Can you relate? Can we have some participants from the Unesa? Oh,
Everyone who is everyone we surely need to learn how to do that. Ah, you wanted to test kilig as a construct with your new Filipino friends. Okay. Can you manage? No pressure, though. No pressure. What else?
some insights that you've learned?
Can you visit us here in the Philippines also?
Or do you have culture that is similar to the Philippines? Yes.
Yes, actually, we have a similar culture in our city or in our country. Could you hear my voice? Is it audible?
Okay.
Can you repeat?
Can,
Yes. Is it now audible?
okay. Yes, you are.
Hi, Mohammed.
Yes, actually in Indonesia, in some of the cities or yeah, in the country itself, it has a similar culture, which is there are lots of celebrations or ceremonies in in every side of the country. For example, there are ceremonies for the baby's birth and etc. And when a city a date of the anniversary of the city, there will be some festivals. We call it as carnaval. Yeah, usually we call it as carnaval. So there are lots of what is it? Performance, like showing the traditional clothes. The roads are full with attractions, and there are lots of people watching it. So yeah, I think it's very similar, and the way that you told us the people are very caring, very what is it, very positive. I think some of us have them too in Indonesia, and we are actually really religious. Um, and in fact, there are more than 3 religions in here, and despite all of those differences, we can still be united in one, in one environment, in one unity. Yeah.
Yeah. The unity or the bayanihan. Can you say it? Bayanihan. Can you say the word bayanihan?
Excuse me?
The term unity, the word unity in Filipino word, it's called bayanihan. So can you say it? Bayanihan.
Bayanihan.
Wow, perfect. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for that insight, Hanif. So from Unesa participants, do you have any more insights you want to share with us or questions?
May I?
Yes, you are acknowledged, Muhammad. Uh,
Muhammad Afifuddin Armadani from Unesa.
okay, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I really curious about the pageant culture in the Philippines because I know that 2 Miss Universe are from Philippines, and
Yeah.
they say that the Philippines people really love the pageant, and to win the pageant is a big deal in the Philippines, and it can give something like a very huge impact to the society of the Philippines. So would you please to explain it, maybe like explain it to us, like how this vibe, how this pageant is like in the Philippines, because I think this is something very huge in the Philippines. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, hi, Muhammad. How did pageantry impacted Filipino people? That's your question, right?
Yes,
Can you hear me? Okay.
yes, I can.
So actually, pageantry in the Philippines is being practiced from elementary, high school, in school setting, barangay, municipality, city, and the universe. Okay. That is why we are actually into pageants. I don't know if other people consider it as standard of beauty and brain, or other people have negative, it impacted negatively to other people or has a negative impact to other people. But for me, I'm inspired by these people bringing the name of the Philippines to the world, or to the universe rather. Okay, so really, pageantry sets the beauty and eloquence of Filipinas standard high, and inspires us a lot. More than negatively looking into it, we are actually pressured and inspired because Filipinas bring Philippines to the world. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Muhammad. So, do you have other questions, or you have a clarifications about the presentation earlier? So, from UNESA participants, you can raise your hand or you can comment it down in our chat. Okay, we have a comment here. Well, we have Ayu Gani, which also winning Asia's Next Up Model Cycle 3 back then. Mm. And also one of the winner of Asia's Next Up Model is also from Philippines. Mm. It's a trivia. Yes. No. Definitely. I don't know. Maybe because modeling is not as high, okay, than the beauty pageant, especially Miss Universe. Whenever Miss Universe is happening yearly, I think we really run to watch it on TV and find who is having it live. Parang yun yung impact for me. Okay? Are there any questions? Okay, well, we have one question from Hanif. Does the culture of bringing the house together still exist nowadays? How if the house is made of bricks or rocks? Okay.
Yeah, in some communities, especially upland communities, they're still practicing the bayanihan spirit, moving the house from a place to another place. But if the house is made of bricks or concrete material, of course, we cannot literally move the house, but we can move the people inside the house by bringing all the materials, their equipment, their appliances, move from one house to another house and leave the house behind.
Thank you, Ma'am Zane. Thank you for that question, Hanif. So, other questions or clarification? And also because of the modernization, ma'am, I think the houses are now built, and especially the Philippines is, I think, the place of typhoon. Yeah, yearly we plan to build a house made of materials that are also resilient. Like people, they need to be resilient. All right. So, do you have another questions or clarifications you want to be addressed from our Unesa participants? Or what else you want to know about the Philippine culture? You can comment it down in our chat box, or you can raise your hand so that you can be acknowledged. Any more questions? Okay, there's one from Fatihul Itchan. Correct me if I'm wrong with your pronouncing your name. Your question is there any drill if there is a typhoon coming?
If it's a drill, not we don't practice that anymore, but we have typhoon signals which give us a hint of how strong the typhoon that we will be experiencing, and will also give the signal to people in the community to relocate as much as possible. Okay. We only practice drill if it's an earthquake. We have earthquake drill. Okay.
Okay, another question from Honey. Is there any secret recipe or flavor in the Philippines so that it can be very popular worldwide, such as the fast food restaurant brand Jollibee, as I saw in the presentation? You know the Jollibee. Okay. Yes, sir. The recipe we will reserve that for our next lecture, which will be discussed by Mr. Pedro Cabrales after the recess, our next session. Some more? Do you have more questions? I think there is none. No more questions, everyone. So before we end the session, so let's have first a icebreaker, which will be consisting of the information being presented earlier. So I hope that everyone will participate. So let me share my screen. Can you already view the presentation?
Yes, we can.
All right. So it's just a 5, I think, or 7. Okay, so what we're going to do is the game is called 4 Picks, one word. So we will be showing 4 pictures and then you will be guessing it. So are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Can I have reactions from our participants if you're ready? Yes,
Yes.
a thumbs up from Hanif.
Mhm.
All
Yeah,
right,
we're
so
ready.
okay, the game is titled 4 Picks, one word. So are we ready? So the first 4 pictures, I'm sorry, wait, some technical issues. I think the file is not yet ready. So all right, so I will stop sharing the screen for a while. Okay. So while we are waiting for the file to be presented, I will be screen opening this to our MC, and the icebreaker will be presented for the next lecture.
Lah kok ora ngerti gak sing ndek aku cerita kecelakaan kerja wi lho.
Miss MC, or are we okay if we continue our 4 Picks, one word game? Okay, so I will be sharing my screen for the for the second round. And now we will be continuing our game, which is 4 Picks, one word. Can you view my screen now? All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. So the first 4 pictures. So what do you think the picture is? So there's um so in the lower part of the picture, a jumbled letter. It's a clue for you to answer it. So do you have any guess about the word? It was presented earlier. It's a tradition during May. So another clue. From our Unesa participants, do you have any guess? From we have Muhammad. Your word is Santa Cruzan. So is it right? Yes, it is. It is Santa Cruzan. Congratulations. Yeah. Okay, another. Okay, and you can see people dancing in the street, and there's a Santa, which is why it's celebrated during January. So do you have any clue or any guess about the
Aku
picture?
mikirnya wes yang penting tak coba aja. Jadi aku dulu tuh nggak paham jalan pikirnya jalan pikir geometri itu aku nggak paham kan, makanya nilai awal-awalku tuh jelek. Aku mikir
Okay, that is sinulog. Wow, you know about sinulog. Congratulations. Okay, another one. Okay, so what is no? Almost all of you are familiar about the pictures because it was presented earlier. Oh, from Karen. Bayanihan. Is it correct? Definitely, bayanihan is the correct answer. Next one. So it is a unique Filipino trait or characteristic that we practice during calamities, typhoons, crisis. So what is the word? The correct answer is okay, resilient. And the last one is, can you guess the pictures? Filipinos are known for this. Whenever country we are, tourists, okay, all right. There are a lot of our UNESCO participants who answered hospitable, which is the correct answer. All right, give us ourselves a virtual round of applause, everyone. You did great, and we know that you listened from the presentation earlier. So once again, congratulations and thank you for your participation. Terima kasih. Terima kasih, everyone. We are now turning the presentation to the MC. All right, so while we are waiting for our MC to take over the Zoom meeting, so I will be introducing the next topic that Mr. Pedro Cabral will be discussing. That would be the Philippine geography, the flora and fauna, the history of Philippines and Samar, the clothing and food, especially the recipe that Hanif is asking earlier, the Samar Island Natural Park, and the attraction of Samar. So while we are waiting, so you can are we now going to proceed to our next lecture or we'll be having a recess?
Okay, hello, Miss Jeva.
Hello, good. Right, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So I'm going to ask you, do you have a break first, or just continue to the next speakers?
It's your call. Yes, for our participants. Yes. According to the program, yes, we have a recess. This is the usual from the yesterday's and the other session that we have a recess. Would that be okay with our participants, or we could also proceed to the next session?
Okay, sure. We can continue to the next speakers.
All right. So
Okay.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. This is Pedro Cabrales, and I'm going to discuss to you about the tourist attractions of the Philippines, particularly Samar. So these tourist attractions are centered around the geography of the island. Can you hear me? And the flora, the fauna, as well as the history, because most of our attractions are also affected by the historical circumstances that happened in the Philippines, and also even our food and our clothing. So basically, these parts of our attractions, our culture, are influenced by our history. Are you ready? So welcome to the Philippines, and the geography of the Philippines is such that it is found in the Asian side of this world, and it's in the Southeast Asia. It's a neighbor to your country, the country of Indonesia. In fact, it's a member of the ASEAN group of nations, and we have an archipelago of 7,100 islands. Next. Yeah, it's done. Yes, I had said it is next to the Pacific Ocean. To the west, we actually have the South China Sea, and to the north, we have the Luzon Strait and also the island of Taiwan. And to the south, we have the islands of Sabah and Sulawesi. I think that's in the sea next to Indonesia. Next, and next, yes, in the Philippines is a mixture of islands and other bodies of water, and the islands are prone to earthquakes. And if you remember, I think that was sometime in the year 1992, when there was this volcanic eruption of Mount Pinatubo, which turned the global climate to go cooler. So we belong to what we call the Pacific Rim of Fire, the earthquakes. On the one side, we have earthquakes. On the other side, we also have typhoons. So it's really a very challenging area to be born in the Philippines because of these calamities. Now, because of our geographical setting, we have these different natural resources of timber, petroleum, and other mineral resources. And the population is excitedly, we are moving to the 130 million total number of people based on the 2022 estimate. The capital of this country is the city of Manila, and the country of the total land area is also the 72nd largest country in the world. It is it's larger than the country of Arizona in the United States, if you would like to make the whole lump of it. So welcome to the specific island of Samar, particularly the western side of Samar. You have here the Samar State University, which is the university found in this province of Samar. And it is the gateway to this region because many years ago, the city of Catbalogan has been a port area where so many people come and go through this port of Catbalogan. Next slide, please. The history of Samar, or the name Samar, is taken from the word samad, which is wound or cut. Probably it's because of the constant calamities that harm the islands. But anyway, the people just take it very lightly because, as we've said, according to Professor Jane Cinco, the Filipinos are resilient people. The location of this country is one of the islands between Luzon and Mindanao. In fact, in Samar, we have what we call the All-Philippine Highway, Pan-Philippine Highway, which runs crossing from the north of the archipelago down to Mindanao. Samar is somewhere in the middle, and we have the very long highway that crosses the island, and it is even joined with the next island, which is called Leyte. Next slide, please. Another slide. Yes, that's the geography of Samar. Next. The physical characteristics of the island, we have, in terms of climate, I think it is very similar because we are found in a tropical region. So the climate is also tropical, which means that there are more sunshine and rain, and it's a rainforest area. So rainfall more or less evenly distributed throughout the year, and the physical features include almost every kind of topography. We have mountains, forests, rivers, lakes, plains, coasts, and islands. As an introduction to everything about Samar, we have inviting tourist attractions like old churches. We have church in Calbayog, St. Peter's and Paul Church. We have another church in Basay. We have also other places that speak about the geographical and topographical characteristic of the province, which is the cave in Calbiga called Langon Gumingog Cave. We are emphasizing this presentation about the cave because Calbiga and Samar has the biggest cave system in the Philippines, and it is said to be the second in the whole world. I mean, I know that in Indonesia we have also a very wide, big cave, and the next we have, according to them, is the Calbiga cave. Inside the cave, there is a rare species that was discovered in 1987, and it is called in English the blind fish, because this kind of fish has never seen any light from its evolution, through its evolution. Yes, Next. We are also rock formations because of the constant, the torrential rains and the impact of strong winds from typhoons. They create some certain kind of shapes in the coastal elements of the province. We have the Marabot rock formations. We have old trees that our archipelago. And these trees are really super strong because they don't get blown away by strongest typhoons. Next. Of course, we also have some religious and refreshment parks, like the Theater Park in the heart of the city. Now, culturally, the Waray people it is the term the local people are called. In Cebu, they say the people there are Cebuanos.
Very edge to edge.
All right. Sorry. In Cebu, the people are called Cebuanos, and in Bohol, they are called Boholanos. In Samar and Leyte, the people are called Waray. This the way they are called. The language is also called Waray. And who are these Waray? They are known to be, according to some writers, they are known to be one of the bravest peoples in this country. Though they are also contented with such kind of, the lifestyle that they have, that they are even branded as lazy people. I don't know. It's a challenging statement. You can challenge that. Many people can challenge.
That's how the connotation comes up. And sorry, I have mic. Is my mic working? Still? Okay, it's not there. So with this, I mentioned earlier that the Waray people are fun and loving and resilient and respectful. And they are fond of celebrating festivals. One of these festivals is called the Sarakiki Hadang Festival, which is held in another city, which is Pabayo. It's a very world famous festival. We have the Pahoy Pahoy Festival, which is a festival of driving, how to drive. This is the festival of the scarecrow. You know what scarecrow is? This is a human-like figure that aims, that is supposed to drive away insects and birds who are eating our what is this? Harvests in the farm. Can you hear me still? Hello, Mike. Okay. Next slide, please. The economic activity of the Waray is mainly characterized by products, characterized by livelihood, and these products for crops. This is the coconut, the rice, or we call it palay. We also have corn and banana. It's a humongous amount of these crops that we use here. They're also producing lots of fish, different kinds of fish. In fact, there's so much fish that we tend to preserve it by procedure called smoking. Smoked fish and green mussel. Okay, next slide, please. In the festival, we have the Banig Festival, so mentioned before. This is a festival that celebrate the the weavers in Pasay. I got one charger. The charge is going. The charger. Yeah, we're having some yeah. Hello. Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yeah, can I come closer to my cell phone? Ito lang. Ito. All right. Hello again. Yeah, I'm sorry. Technical challenge. My phone ran out of battery, so I had to go to the wired phone that I have. By the way, I would like to inform everyone that I am using the camera in my cell phone because we don't have a quality camera that can project better picture. So we realized yesterday that this is the best camera that can project a better picture. Yes. Now, the next slide is the San Juanico Bridge. It's another very attractive piece of man-made object in the between in Samar and Leyte. It's the bridge that connects these two big islands composed of 10 provinces actually. This is the night view, and many people come to see this and visit this bridge. There are some restaurants in both sides of the bridge, and there's even a restaurant down the bridge also. During daytime, this is the beauty of the bridge. It's the most beautifully designed bridge in this country. Aside from the man-made attractions, we have the natural attractions of the falls. These falls are found in Catbalogan, and sorry, Calbayog City. Calbayog City seems to be the city of waterfalls. Tarangban, Bangon, Larit Falls. We have Panas and Bangon Falls. Let us continue about the Samarinos the Waray people, and these people are in Samar. By the way, there are many people who speak different languages. Like some people speak Cebuano, they also speak Buholano and others. Those who settle here, they speak those language, even Tagalog. The province has is similar to its neighbor by language, industries, traditions, and climate. Now let's talk about Philippine flora and fauna.
The animal life and plant life in the Philippines is very varied, and because of it is precisely because of its tropical nature of the climate. You have the beaches, you have the waterfalls, and you have the parks. Uh, for the plant uh, varieties, we have 3,000 kinds of trees in this country. In our local dialect, we call it Tangili, Yakal, Tindalo, and Kamago, and others. These rare trees, actually, the problem now is we have what we call the over exploitation of our forest resources, and only few are remaining. And these the varieties I had mentioned are actually endangered. So only few are remaining in the Cordillera region, uh, Quezon, Palawan, Agusan, Bukidnon, Davao, and Samar. And the plant life, the plant varieties, we have many of them, 8,500 kinds of flowering plants. There are 1,000 varieties of ferns and 800 species of orchids. A kind of flower, Rafflesia. I think there's also in Indonesia, I heard there is this giant flower, and that's also the scientific name of the flower itself. It's also plentiful in Samar and Mindanao. A very rare kind of orchid is found in the Philippines. It's called waling waling or Vanda sanderiana. Look at the image. Other species of flowers growing in this region are Sampaguita, we have Gumamela, Champaka, Santan, Rizal, and plants that are plentiful in this region is also abound with, we have banana, mango, and coconut. We have different kinds of trees that thrive in the seashores, and these are palm trees, talisay, agoho, mangrove, kagon, lemongrass. In other parts of the archipelago, in the cold and high mountainsides, we have fruits and vegetables like cabbage, pechay, broccoli, and strawberry. There are different kinds of animals in this country, but what is very, very, what do you call this, unique in this country, the animal we have is called carabao or water buffalo. I don't know if you have this kind of animal in your country, do you? How do you call them? Just interesting, because this is also a tropical animal. Yes? There. Yes. This kind of animal can withstand in the hot and cold seasons. Yes, it is called kerbao. Yeah, I like it. It looks the sounds familiar. The name sounds familiar. Sounds similar, sorry. Thank you. So in Indonesia, carabao is kerbao in your country. Interesting. I like it. There is affinity. Yes. How about the birds? We have 900 species of birds like eagle, kalau, pigeon, and maya. Yes. The eagle, for one, is considered the king of birds in this country. It is found in Leyte, Samar, Mindanao, and also Luzon. Yes. By the way, the eagle is the Philippines' national bird. They even qualify it as the monkey-eating eagle because it can eat also monkeys. Fauna, specifically fishes. Lots of fish that abound here, 2,000 species of them. But what is very common is tuna fish, lapu-lapu or grouper, tamban, sardines, bia, silver-banded whiting or azules, galonggong, which is mackerel, scad, sapsap, which is pony fishes. We have tilapia. I don't know, tilapia is a common fish all around the world. We have ayuning or silver perch, hito, catfish, and bulig, snakehead morel. This is the head. This is the the face of monkey eating eagle. In fact, the biggest monkey eating eagle is found here in Samar. It was captured somewhere in a town next to neighbor to Katbalogan. What is it? It is the second largest eagle in the world. And yes, I have already mentioned that this is the national bird of the Philippines. There's another creature in this country which is called tarsier or tarsius in Latin, in scientific name. It is the world's smallest monkey. Do you have tarsier or tarsius in Indonesia? Maybe. Maybe yes. All right. Next, now let's go to history. Are we still here? Still have time. Okay. I just make it just brief uh, explanation. History of the Philippines is divided into three: the pre-colonial era, the colonial era, and the uh, post-colonial period. Of course, the pre-colonial covers uh, the time before 1521. The colonial period is 1565 to 1946. And from 1946 onwards, we have the modern era. According to the theory of Henry Otley Beyer, uh, uh, Filipinos populated, the country of Philippines, archipelago, was populated based on what they call waves of wave migration theory. Where did these people come from? According to him, they came from the neighboring islands of Malaysia and Indonesia. So the Malays and Indonesians. No wonder some of the Filipinos even really look like Indonesians and Malays. No wonder. And even the language also. And I can observe that. The the pre-colonial Filipinos were basically seafarers. Uh, they 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 like traveling. They like working by 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 navigating the seas or by fishing. They were engaged in trading. They were traders, and also uh, they traded spices with gold and with other things, and also the they also engage in fishing, and also some of them were warriors. Uh, the history of the Philippines is very known to be characterized by brave warriors coming from Cebu because they were the ones who killed the explorer from Spain, from Portugal, Magellan. Uh, so this person, Ferdinand Magellan, is one of the world's famous explorer. He was commissioned to find the Spice Islands in the Moluccas. In the Moluccas, I think it's somewhere in Malaysia and towards Indonesia. And because they couldn't go through the usual channel of the via Arabia and Indian route, he made a theory. He made a clue that maybe he could reach the Spice Islands, to trade products, to buy products from the Spice Islands by way of the we call it uh, Western route. You go to America, and then from America you go down to South America, and then cross the Pacific, and Eureka, you find the Spice Islands. That was his. That was his what? His guess, and luckily, and not really luckily, but truly, he was able to reach the Spice Islands, or this part of the world, from the western route. He used, of course, the old ships, the galleon trades, the galleon ships, and one of the reasons, by the way, why Magellan came to the Philippines, because he was commissioned by the king of Spain at that time. The empire of Spain was the forerunner of the Christian religion, and uh, apparently one of the uh, missions that was given to explorer Magellan was to bring the Christian faith to the different parts of the world. So in that way, when he was able to find the Philippines, he did influence the people with uh, the uh, the faith of Christianity, or the faith of Christ, and it is symbolized by the cross. If you see picture, from then on, that was the century, the year 1521. From then on, 333 years, the Philippines became a colony of Spain, as was the other Asian countries at that time. So colonization resulted in suffering of the local people, the inhabitants, and the inhabitants also reacted by what? By a revolution, by dissent, by because of the. Are we visible and audible
Yes,
still?
sir.
Oh yeah, thank you. um, yeah, people, the colonizers, or some people say that colonization has brought education, technology, uh, brought civilizing, what do you call this? Civilizing goals to the local inhabitants. But the local people, the ones that were vanquished, uh, they had a different view about colonization. They say that they were deprived of their culture, they were deprived of their rights, and also they were deprived to develop their own way of, of showing or developing their culture. So in that way, there was so much uprising, and how do you say? Uh, there were so much uh, revolutions that occurred in different islands in the Philippines. Until one day, there was a person named Jose Rizal. Jose Rizal, can you show up? Are you there? Yes. Yeah, this is the Jose Rizal. Jose Rizal is a son of a middle class farmer, and he liked he liked reading, and uh, he got to travel to Europe, and from Europe he was able to learn uh, uh, Western education, and he studied medicine there. At the same time, he also learned about uh, the universal values of people, that people should not be vanquished, people should be respected, that there should be equality between races. And when he reflected in coming back to the Philippines, he realized that the Filipinos were not given equal treatment. They were not really respected, as because they were just termed as like Indios, something like a little bit what do you call it? Uh, a little bit what do you call this? People of low that could not be respected enough, something like that. So the people, as I have said a while ago, they suffered a lot, and they executed Jose Rizal in the park with hundreds of gunners, and this resulted in the individual revolution, and what we call this, the first revolution in the Philippines against Spain. You see, that is the Dr. Jose Rizal being executed by the Spanish soldiers in a firing squad. So from then on, uprisings happened, and the Filipinos, what is this, asserted the right for independence, only to find out that the Spaniards, the former colonizers, were selling the country for $20 million to another colonizer, which is another country of United States of America. So eh, just a few minutes from declaring independence from Spain, they found out that they had another master, Western master, uh, which is the Americans. So it is a sad part of the history of the Filipinos that they could not really completely liberate themselves from the foreign invaders, from the foreign forces. So we have these American soldiers who trained their guns at the Filipinos, and the Filipinos were being made as what? Were being made as slaves, or they were made as uh, second class citizens in this country. So there were also so much suffering, but later on, some Filipino leaders were convinced that uh, the Americans were helping Filipinos with education, the Western kind of education, the education that what they call as democratic education. So they opened schools, they opened hospitals for the public, they opened orphanages, they established government systems uh, of the legislature, the presidency, and judiciary. And then when 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 everyone wanted to learn about the American kind of governance, uh, another another very sad part of this history was the the unexpected coming of the Japanese invaders, the Japanese soldiers who invaded this country and destroyed the cities and the suburbs uh, during the Second World War. I think they also went to Malaysia and even to Indonesia uh, for these unfortunate events in our history. Second, the Japanese occupation of the Philippines. And it lasted for, I see how many years? 4 years, if you will. 4 years of suffering under the Japanese imperial forces. Incidentally, there was also plans by the American people to liberate the Filipinos from the Japanese forces. And there was a soldier by the name of Douglas MacArthur who came to our country to bring American forces and drive the the Japanese forces away from this country. And eventually, that was, of course, in 1944. In 1945, with the defeat of Japan by the United States and Allied forces, the Philippines gained independence the year following. That was July 4, 1946. So actually, July 4, 1946 is the independence of the Philippines from all the conquering powers. And however, some twist in history, we changed the Independence Day from July to June 12, which commemorate the independence of the Philippines from Spain. That was 1898 year. So anyway, July 4 is just celebrated as the Philippine-American Friendship Day. Economically, from many years back, our country achieved what you call growth rate of how many? 4%, 5%. I would like to say something about the year 2017 until the year 2021. From the year 2017, we have that amount of growth rate, about 4%, I think, in the GNP. But in the year 2020, when pandemic calamity came, our country, our economy experienced a negative GNP. So until 2021 and this year, we are still trying to, how do you say, we're still trying to improve our economic conditions. All right. Economically, the Filipinos produce for export electronic products, machinery, fruits and nuts, copper, ores, slag, ash, and others. And this is some of these are the materials that our economy depend on for survival with other countries. Now let's talk about another attractions, another part of culture of the Philippines, which is the mode of dressing. So we are now, this mode of dressing, if you will observe, is also affected by history. It is influenced, should I say? It is influenced by history. The fashion and clothing in the Philippines refers to the way the people of the Philippine society dress up. Sorry, in instances such as while they are at home or at work or traveling and special occasions. This one is a kimono. A kimono dress is actually influenced by Spanish way of, apparel. And camisa chino is influenced by the Chinese culture. So this is the one. Another showcase is the barot saya. Baro is a dress, it's a blouse, and saya is the skirt for the women. And for the men, we have the barong Tagalog. You see, what I'm wearing now is an example of a formal Filipino dress for men, which is called barong Tagalog. It's It's a clothing for men that was influenced by the Tagalog people in Tagalog region. From the year 1900 to 1920s, the mode of dressing of the Philippines looked like this. They were a bit influenced by Spanish. And then from the 20s to the 40s, we now have a little bit westernized style of dress and cutting. From the 1940s to 1960s, we have this very clearly American influenced way of dressing. So until the 1960s and 70s, and we have now the T-shirt revolution and all this, what we call the bell-bottom pants, and the hippie culture of the 1970s also influenced our way of dressing up. So 1980s are actually present now here. But I would like to show that lots of how do you call this, ragged, a mixture of ragged and formal clothing style. This is the trend of the times now, but eventually, for what do you call this, for a very typical and recognizable way to dress up. This is the most formal way for a Filipino to dress up. This is a wedding apparel for the woman and for the lady and for the gentleman, for the couple, and it is called barong. The man is wearing a barong, and the lady is wearing a kind of terno. We call it terno, which is Spanish influence. Now let's go to. We are now hungry, and I'd like to cater you to the Philippine kitchen, the Philippine cuisine, if you like. So how do we start? What do we eat first? Would you like to eat something salty, sour, or yummy? So which one is your choice? It's already, it's 4 o'clock. It's time for snack here in the Philippines. Cuisine in the Philippines is rich in culture and history, influenced by Spain for 200 years, by America, several decades, and also influenced by Malayan taste, Chinese, if you like. So we have the combination of these different ingredients and influences. Look at that. One of the most popular Filipino dishes is adobo. Adobo is cuisine or a recipe which is called the national uh, national cuisine of the Philippines. And I will teach you how to cook adobo. If you go to any country, like for example, United States, Europe, anybody, so many people, Filipinos and others, they enjoy, they look for the taste of adobo. I don't know why. It's just simple food, but it is very, what do you call this? It's salivating kind of food. I don't know if you have there in your country a mixed up of different ingredients. We call them halo-halo, or a mixed up of things with cold, with what do you call this? How do you say this, ice? This is crushed ice. You have their ice cream. You have their mango, banana. You have their ubi, and all sorts. The sweet ones, and it is a favorite food, especially during summer. The Filipino cuisine is distinguished by its bold combination of sweet, sour, and salty flavors, while other Asian cuisines may be known for a more subtle delivery and presentation. Filipino cuisine is often delivered all at once in a single presentation, like that. However, there are many different regions in this country with different traditions and influences. Not everything is the same. You have a choice. For example, cooking and eating in the Philippines has been part of the communal practices. Filipinos like to gather with lots of food. For morning, we call it agahan. For lunch, almusal, and tanghalian for supper, and dinner also. In northern Luzon, they have this kind of food. Simple mixture of vegetables and usually steamed and boiled. In central Luzon, there are elaborate preparations like the kari-kari. And southern Luzon also, they have their own. In this part, our part here, we call it Visayan region. We have this kind of cooking style, and it tends to be lots of salty ingredients because of its dried salty foods and the liberal use of what is that? I cannot read. Liberal use of greens. Greens. I mean, plant. Yes, the greens. The choice greens. The cuisine in the islands of the Philippines evolved from Malaysian origins with additional influences by Chinese, Hispanic, and American cuisine. I would like to mention about this one because uh, if you are familiar with the food, the fast food called spaghetti, it is an American food, which actually an influence of Italy. The word spaghetti is an Italian word, Italian food. It is a little bit salty because it is American, But in the Philippines, spaghetti is sweet. You see, it is a sweeter variant. Why it is sweet? Because of the Chinese influence in the Filipino cuisine. So, in addition, Mindanao cuisine is generally influenced by the spicy and rich Malay dishes from neighboring countries such as Malaysia, Brunei, and Indonesia. There you go. We have a taste of your food. If you don't know, this is in contrast to the rest of the Philippine regions, which have more Hispanic taste to it. Mindanao cooking is marked by simplicity and the non-use of pork, which Muslims do not eat. It is closely similar to Indonesian and Malaysian. Now, I'd like to tell you more about adobo. Of course, you can cook anything with adobo. For example, green mussel, beef, or in this case we have chicken adobo. When I have lots of money, I always cook adobo every weekend. Yes. How do you cook adobo? How does it taste? You have bay leaves, you have garlic, vinegar, black pepper, oyster sauce, soy sauce. Of course, we have also onions. And how much do you prepare each of them? 1/4 for the soy sauce, 1/8 vinegar, 3 pieces bay leaves, peppercorn, oyster, according to your taste. You can have more garlic or less of that, and also onion. How do you start the making of the adobo? You marinate the chicken with oyster sauce for 30 minutes to 1 hour. You soak it with the sauce. In my case, I don't use it actually with oyster. I use what we call lemon because we want to have in the house, we want to have a strong lemon flavor. Then you chop the garlic and onion. You heat the pan with oil and put garlic first. You add the onions and then saute them. Add the chicken. Cook the chicken for 5 to 10 minutes until it becomes brown. Then add water. Boil for maybe a half cup of water will do. If you put more water, the flavor gets more bland, and then you have to add more of the salt. But if you just put like a half cup of water, even smaller amount, the taste is stronger and more savory. So you add peppercorn, as I have said, 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1/8 cup of vinegar, 3 pieces of bay leaves, and it's done. Then it's ready to eat. You can enjoy this savory national Filipino food, which is called garlic, which is called adobo. Why is it called adobo, by the way? The word adobo is from Spanish, which is adobar, which means marinade or pickling sauce. The existence of the tangy dish was first recorded in 1613 by Spaniard Pedro de San Buenaventura. In the dictionary he was compiling, Buenaventura listed the tart viand as adobo de los naturales for its similarity to Spanish and Mexican dishes. And then, but while our favorite ulam, our favorite viand moniker, boasts of pure Spanish lineage, little else about our adobo can and should be attributed to our Hispanic conquerors. According to Raymond Sokolov, the ingredients for adobo already existed in the Philippines even before the coming of Magellan. Because the dish original name was never recorded, and in any case, what Sokolov calls lexical imperialism. However, they just adapted the name adobo, which is adobar in Spanish. Taran, then you have this super delicious, tasty adobo from the Philippines. You come and visit us and we will serve you unlimited adobo. Thanks for watching. Welcome to the Philippines. You won't feel hungry here. You will have all the nice things, the beaches, the mountains, and happy people. I hope you like my presentation. Do you have any question?
Thank you so much, Sir Peter Cabrales, for presenting us the different cuisines, the clothing of the Philippines. So now we are on our open forum session. So if you have any questions, clarifications that you want to be addressed, you can raise your hand or you can chat your questions on our chat box.
Yeah.
Our Unesa participants, do you have any questions? Especially about the food, because I know some of you are hungry right now. Because me too, I'm hungry. So do you have any questions or clarifications? You can raise your hand. Or do you want to share some insights? Mr. Fatihul Itchan. Did I correctly pronounce your name?
Yes, that's correct. So thank you for the opportunity from the moderator. So I want to ask about what is the staple food for the Filipinos? Do you also eat rice? Because most of the Asian countries are eating rice every day. So do you also eat rice, or maybe because of the influence from the USA, you eat bread also? Thank you.
Sir Peter, do we also eat rice? Definitely.
Actually, can I answer? Yeah, rice is given. I mean, it is the carbohydrate part of our meal. Nobody eats in the Philippines without rice. I mean, it's impossible to enjoy food without rice. And however, for those who have gone to other countries, for example, to America and Europe, they also they also eat bread, the white bread, together with the other viands. Incidentally, unfortunately or unfortunately, the way we cook rice here is the simplest one. No ingredients, just we call it steamed rice. Just the water and the little because the rich ingredient is not some we do not anticipate the taste of the rice, rather on the partners of rice, like the adobo, like the sweet and sour, like the salad or things like that. So this rice is just somewhere to be added to with other things, if you like. Yes. How about in Indonesia? Do you also have the same situation, same uh, combination of rice and something, or you cook rice with different flavors, Mr. Patihol?
Yes, we also eat rice every day. I think we also cook rice the same with you. I mean, like we add water and then let it cook in the rice cooker,
You
something like
see,
that.
we are really cousins, Mr. Patihol.
Indeed. Well, thank you for the answer, sir.
Thank you so much, Patio, for that question, and Sir Pedro for answering the question. So, any more questions and clarifications, especially from Unesa participants? Okay, we have here from Agadada. So, is the Filipino mom also tell to her children that if you don't eat rice, it means you have not eaten yet? Sir Peter?
Yeah. Is my mic on?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a good saying. It's a true expression that if you have not eaten rice, you have not eaten at all yet. That's true because you don't feel satisfied if you do not have. I think rice is also an energy.
I'm sorry, sir. You are muted. Yeah.
Am I clear? Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. As I've said, the we really cannot avoid rice because it is the carbohydrate, and carbohydrate is the energy component of our food. Yeah.
Yes, as what they've said, rice is life. Other questions? Or you wanted to share some insights for UNESCO participants? From Hanif, I have never eaten fried rice with original rice.
No, I'm not asking. I'm just telling my story.
That's a good combination.
Yeah.
Thank you. From Patihol, you're raising your hand.
Yes, I want to ask about the language that is being used by the Filipinos. So, which one is the most common language in Philippines? Is it the English or is it Tagalog or maybe Spanish? Because yeah, you have the influence from the Spanish as well. So yeah, which one is the most common?
Actually, if you would like to count the languages in the Philippines, we have about 30, more than 30 languages because of the 7,100 islands component of this archipelago. But of these 30 languages, we have about 5 or 6 major ones. The first major language is the language of the capital city of the Philippines, which is what? Manila. And they speak the Manila-based Tagalog language. We call it Tagalog. Tagalog is taken from the word Tagailog, from the river. The second major language is actually Cebuano. It is the language in the second major city and other neighboring provinces in that city. And I seem to agree that the third biggest language is Waray-Waray language. And Waray-Waray people are found in practically every major city in the Philippines. There are many Waray-Waray people because Waray-Waray people are how do you say? They like traveling. They like adventure. They migrate to different places, even in Mindanao. So those are the main languages. Now, what happened to this English thing? The English language has been the policy introduced by the Americans. And we enjoyed high English proficiency during the American period, of course. And how many years? 50 years after independence. Because after independence, there are many Filipino leaders who insist that we should use our local language for our education. But then there were so many debates because majority of the Filipinos are not Tagalog. They don't speak this what they call the national Tagalog language. Majority of Filipinos speak Cebuano and the Visayan language, the language which is very common in Mindanao and in the Visayas. So the politicians in Manila, they declare that the Tagalog should be the national language. But in our schools, we don't emphasize so much Tagalog. We use English as the official language of instruction. It is the language of research, language for all the textbooks that we read, for all the examinations, for all the board exams, the language of law, and all that, practically all literature that is needed to make a person professional, we use English. Is that answer clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you for the answer.
Thank you, Mr. Fatihol.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fatihor. So,
Yeah.
any more questions or clarifications from our participants?
May I?
Yes, you are acknowledged, Mr. Hanif.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. So my question is there any food that everyone may not like it, or it's not that acceptable? For example, like in Indonesia, here we have several foods that say maybe for some people are nasty or disgusting. For example, like here I have here in my virtual background, it's actually
What's that?
it's called ceker. So it's the chicken feet. So you cook chicken feet here and we eat it. And then for other example, in Surabaya there is a traditional food called lontong kikil. So it's actually a cow's feet. So the feet of the cow, we eat it, and many people like it. So yeah, we eat every organs in every animals that existed in Earth. We eat what else? We eat heart. We eat liver. We eat brains. We eat yeah, anything we can find. So, is there any some type of food that yeah?
I don't know. Maybe it's a very personal thing, because me, as a well-traveled person in different parts of the world, I enjoy every food that I encounter, because I was always told that eating outside is adventure. So it doesn't have any problem with me. But for example, with with members of my family, my wife, the children, they don't like this food that are not common and they have not encountered in their travels. But for me and for many of my friends here in the university, I think they enjoy eating different kinds of food because it's part of what we call adventure. Yes, I don't know how we can eat that kind of food that you have there. Uh, yes, there's no problem for many of us.
All
There
right.
is a caution, of course, but for example, Filipinos they eat just any kind of food, Asian, Chinese, Korean, French, European, all those things. Um, Unluckily and unfortunately, some of them contain pork, which is not very acceptable to some of our Muslim brothers. So, well, if there is some Muslim brothers we have in our company, then we prefer to cook chicken, which is as tasty as the other substance. Yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you, Sir Pedro. And the virtual
Yes.
background that Hanif is having is the isaw. It's called isaw here in the Philippines. Yes. So we have another participant who raised his hand, Mr. Herman.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. But I'm really sorry that because my question is not about food, guys. I'm really sorry, and
That's
it's
okay.
torturing me because I'm fasting right now, and you guys talking about food. It makes me hungry so much. Yeah, but Sir Pedro, I want to ask about the Higanantes Festival because it seems that the Philippine people brings the huge mankind, right? Is it mankind or it is well, it is almost the same like in Indonesian, but in Indonesian we call it as ondel-ondel. It is exist in Jakarta. I just want to ask that that festival Higanantes, what is the meaning and the when the festival will be held, something like that. Thank you.
Sorry, thank you. Gigantes Festival is celebrated in Luzon. I think it's somewhere in the Tagalog region, to be specific. And I have not witnessed one actually in the real life. I don't know. There's brown out here. Oh, may naman ako kuan. We're using there's brown out here. There's no light. Yeah, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and
Oh,
clear.
yes, okay. So Gigantes Festival, I would accept that I really am not very familiar with that one. Although I have seen some of this paper mache that is formed with human figures, and they go around and they sort of parade this giant forms, but I don't know the meaning of them. It seems that they are just a copycat of some other Western countries who have this big paper mache being paraded around towns. But I don't really know the meaning, the deeper meaning of that, of the Gigantes Festival. Gigantes, or in Spanish, in English, we call it Giants Festival. Hello?
I see, sir. Thank you for the
Oh, yes.
answer.
Because
I got it.
there was a brownout here, and everything went black, and you know, the Philippines, it's a Philippine situation, and sometimes unpredictable, coupled with our very weak internet connectivity. Hope you're bearing with us. Mm. So they're not. Ay. Never heard of it. Nay, dali lang. 1 minute.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Pedro. Do you have any more questions, Roman?
Yeah, one more thing. Let's get back to the food because as we know that Filipina main production, it is coconut, right? But it seems like I missed some of the food that the main stuff or the
Ingredient?
main, yeah, was created by a coconut.
Coconut.
Is there any food that made by a coconut in Philippines?
Made of coconut, ma'am.
What specific what? A dessert or a main dish? There are a lot of food in the Philippines that is cooked using a coconut or using coconut as main ingredient.
Coconut milk.
Coconut milk.
So
We also have. We
the
also
most-
love
the most
creamy
one.
dishes.
The famous one, perhaps.
The famous. For me, my famous dish using coconut milk is, of course, my very own maha blanca. I really love.
Spanish.
It's not, but it's a food in the Philippines, but
Yes.
did not originate here. Yeah, the Bicol Express. It's a main dish cooked with coconut milk. It's more. You can have it cooked with pork or chicken.
Yes, and it's spicy.
And it's spicy also. Maybe you want to try the Bicol Express recipe. It's exciting.
Right, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Googling right now and it seems so delicious. I can hold it.
Yeah,
my
it's so
plastic
delicious.
lips.
It's sometimes our food for lunch.
Okay, thank you so much, Mama Ray Jane and
Thank you for the
Herman, for
question.
that question. So, other participants, do you have clarifications or questions, or do you want to share some insights?
May I add something more? Yeah. Jiva May. We
Yes,
have
sir.
a what do you call this? A new a different thing that's happening in our culinary thing. Is what we call the invasion of American recipe into our the way we eat. We have with the hamburger, we have this potato fried and call it a French fries kind of thing.
and we have pizza pie, which is actually an Italian recipe, and these are the ones that are very common in our streets, in our fast food booths. And very, very rare can you see this original Filipino which you just reported and presented. Are they available in the common restaurants rather than those ones? However, if you would like really to taste Filipino food, you find them in what we call the specialty restaurants, and they are a bit more pricey. But the fast food, the one that we call it the American and the Western model, the Western influences, they're somewhere halfway in the price, and therefore very affordable for the Filipinos. I would like to mention spaghetti. What else? Again, we have said hamburger. There are many kinds of hamburgers. American food, pizza pie, uh, uh, soft ice cream. Yes, these are Western influenced food, which are eaten almost daily by the new generation. Yes. Me personally, if you would like to, I like the the way food cooked with which are just boiled and steamed because I observe that they are healthier to eat than they are healthier for our body than this food that are uh, uh, prepared in a complicated manner, like this too much frying, too much too much different kinds of artificial ingredients. You know, uh, I don't know. Personally, I prefer the natural, the Filipino way of cooking, which is just a boiling of different ingredients, and it's great. I don't know. Yes.
Hanif, your food looks like puto bumbong to me. A dessert with coconut as one of the main ingredients. Is it a coconut?
Yes, so the white thing is the coconut, like
Coconut
the shredded coconut, and the inside of here is like a what it's called, gula, like Japanese sugar. So it's like a caramel, yeah, the traditional version of caramel.
No, I think it should be a healthy food.
Yeah, because they're not using sugar.
Brown
Yeah.
sugar, yeah, I just
Brown
remember
sugar,
the
yes.
brown sugar.
What we're using in our puto bumbong is white sugar, sticky rice, and yeah, coconut meat. So yummy. It's being served during December only. Oh, yummy.
Yeah, it's really great to be sharing each other's food, the way we clothe ourselves, the taste of our food. It's a nice thing. I am thrilled by this occasion. Actually, it should be it should be more fulfilling if we come to our places, actually physically and face to face. I think it would be the nicest thing that will happen. Do you agree with me? Yes. There's a brownout again, and it turned black here a while ago, and everything internet is affected. Yeah, thanks God the power is back. So yes, uh, I think we will pray that this pandemic will be over, so that we can visit you or you can visit us physically, and we'll have the actual experience of
how life looks like in your country. Do you agree? Yes.
Absolutely, sir.
All right, thank you so
There's a
much.
question.
Pedro,
Jeva May,
and
what's the question?
okay,
What
do
is
you
the
have
comment?
questions? No, none. That's okay. Or do you want to share some insights, especially with the food?
Yeah, the food was the last preparation.
I guess if there's no more question.
Yeah. I think if there's no more question, we are sending. I think Madam Jane, are we sending kahoots or something?
Was the one that we have played earlier, the 4 pigs in 1 bird
I
game.
see. So I'll be sending my kahoots later.
Sorry, Kahoot is played online.
Yes.
So
later,
just
yes,
send
online.
our evaluation later. Could be a
Okay.
reflection.
I'll be sending my kahoots a few questions, maybe like 10 items.
So we'll have his multiple identification type of test, and I will have my essay type of test later.
Not hard question.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Just to test your recall.
Especially the food.
Especially the food.
Yeah, we will send you our PDF.
Oh, honey,
files
if you are again
so that you
tempting
can also,
us.
Yes.
All right. All right.
All
So
right.
there is no more
Madam
question.
Mulan, how is that? Sir Dimas and Ashuri, are you there? Madam Cecilia, how are you?
Siapa sih? Okay, Miss Java, I'm here.
Oh, hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So that's very amazing presentation about the food, and then
Oh, thank you for your
I'm sure
compliments.
that all of us are craving right now.
Thank you so much. We will all
Thank
crave with all those delicious food
Yeah.
presented.
Everything is nice, even yours also.
Yeah.
I would.
Okay, thank you so much, Mary Jane and Sir Pedro Cabrales for the amazing presentation.
Oh, yes, so thank you. Yes, thank you
Thank you
very
for
much.
appreciating the Filipino culture.
Okay, thank you.
It's a
Thank
great
you so much.
experience to be sharing.
So, dear participants, time flies so fast, and we are at the end session of today's event. Thank you so much for all honorable guests, officials, and our participants who gets involved and join these events enthusiastically. We hope from what we have learned today, we can get to know more about Philippine culture and attractions. Keep your enthusiasm and be ready for our tomorrow agenda that will be more fun, amazing, and exciting. Tomorrow agenda will be presented by joint courses with Mrs. Celia Lambong from University of Griffin and Mr. Agung Adi Nugraha from Leeds Beckett University. And then the next, I'd like to remind you to do the given assignment and submit it into the submission link. Don't forget to fill out the exit ticket, and see you tomorrow.
Excuse me, can we have a screenshot for group photos?
Okay, don't leave the Zoom meeting, please, and let's have a photo opportunity. So we are requesting everyone to please